Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. So let's just dive in and let's start off with this tweet here. So what do you see? 12/22/2020, SEC sues Ripple, alleges XRP is a security. 12/28/2020, Coinbase announces intent to suspend trading in XRP. 4/17/2023, SEC sues Bittrex, alleges Algo, Dash, and 4 more are securities. 5/6/2023, Algo and Dash still trading on Coinbase. Fear of the SEC seems to be ebbing. Now, of course, as we do look at XRP, we are seeing a clear intent from the SEC, and I think that now more than ever, these exchanges and these companies are finally seeing it as well. I think initially on, yes, there's probably a lot of concerns about if XRP was a security or not. But for well over 2 and almost a half years now, I feel like companies are finally waking up to the overall idea around what the SEC is trying to do. They're not here to protect investors. They're here to screw over investors. And I've talked about this. It's the number one reason why, and I know a lot of people were hating on it. It's totally fine. I get it. You know, I talk about utility gems all the time on this channel. But it's the number one reason why a lot of people were hating on me for talking about Wall Street Bets Classic over on Twitter, right? This is a coin that doesn't have utility. The community is the utility behind this coin. The reason why I talked about that token and the reason why I even got into crypto in the first place is to screw over the traditional world. A world that is built upon control, greed, and ultimately keeping the small guys down. See, when I first found crypto, it was that exact reason why I got in. We were the small guys. We were the people that were, constantly getting, tossed to the side while the rich and the wealthy continue to get rich. Like, we are here to make a statement. These companies, these exchanges, etc., they are getting targeted because Wall Street wants their money. Wall Street wants to get rich off of the backs of those that are investing into crypto. And it's a big problem. And I do think that these companies should move away from the US. I actually, support it. Because I do think that this space will continue to thrive. I strongly believe that crypto is going to become much larger than what anyone can anticipate. And it's the number one reason why these governments are trying to create central bank digital currencies, right? They want to create these digital tokens because they see the power and the potential behind the space, but they want all that control. They want all that money. They want, to take control of this space just like they take control of the traditional world as well. And it really is ridiculous. But nonetheless, over here, we also do see Attorney John Deaton said the SEC's XRP theory is far-fetched and that the SEC Ripple case is not supported by the law or protects investors. And this is exactly what I've been hitting on, right? As we do look at XRP sales, like that's the number one thing that's being talked about. Like, listen, is what Ripple was doing with XRP in question here? 100%. We've talked about this in the past, but XRP sales in general should not even be talked about. XRP itself is still a currency. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And as we really kind of look at XRP, I do think that the overall potential of XRP is extremely vast outside of what Ripple could even do with it. If you cut Ripple off at the source and XRP just continued to do its own thing outside of what Ripple was doing with it, I do think that XRP itself will still continue to gain momentum and become a very valuable token because of the endless amounts of use cases on the XRP ledger. But nonetheless, we continue to see the SEC tout their theory around how XRP is a security and how Ripple was, just utilizing XRP and how you, an investor into XRP, sought value from Ripple around XRP. And that's just not the case. Like, to me personally, I don't rely on, Brad Garlinghouse to pump my XRP bag, for an example. I don't rely on Ripple to utilize XRP for my XRP bag to hit, $5, $10. I rely on XRP and XRP alone in terms of the overall value that that's being created on the XRP ledger through XRP to create a very valuable bag for myself. So I do think that the SEC's argument here is extremely far-fetched and flawed. So I do agree with Johnny Deaton on that, but also this is the number one reason why I believe that the case will come to an ending conclusion, that Ripple is in the clear and XRP itself is fully cleared of being a security. And I think that XRP will be considered a currency and have full-on regulatory clarity. And when that does happen, I just want to play this video here. This is from Vendel33 over on Twitter. Black Swan Capitalist as well. We do see Francis Hunt predicts that prices of XRP and XLM will skyrocket in the near future, reaching new heights that we've never seen before in the crypto space. Listen closely to this video.
These guys are had very high security clearance.
So yeah, go ahead.
Ripple, that doesn't mean you can't profit from it. Most things, almost everything you touch is somebody else's money that you're playing on their board game, essentially, and they write the rules.
Like you said earlier, in every crisis, you don't let it go to waste. There's tons of profit to make on this, especially when we're talking about the transition of the global value into a digital ledger. So there's going to be a lot of money to be made here. When we start talking about like XRP,
I think it's going to go up immensely. So, and should you take the profits? Yes, you should.
And go buy gold.
The profits on Lumen as well, XLM and XRP. We have two very big technical macro calls on. And I would shock you if I gave you the numbers, and I would do a chart share on that. Maybe it's one for a later day, but people in our community know exactly where we stand. And these guys are head.
And I do agree with the statement here. I do think that XRP and XLM will skyrocket in value. But I do disagree with the idea on like how you should sell it for gold or anything like that. I do have an XRP bag and an XLM bag that I just don't plan on selling at all. I will take profits. Yes, I do have a trade bag of XRP and XLM. And yeah, I do think that I will probably sell those in terms of profits for gold or even silver. I think that gold and silver are a big play, and I do think that silver will actually, I think that silver will outcompete gold in ROI in the coming years. But nonetheless, I do agree with this because it just doesn't make sense on disagreeing with the fact that like XRP and XLM they're ripe for a major move in the market. They have been brewing for a major move in the market for well over 2,000 days. It's significant. And also, I do want to share with you guys this over here from Tim Draper. I thought this was actually pretty interesting. So we do see Silicon Valley startups are relocating to Europe, Middle East, and Asia. Coinbase and Gemini are moving out of the US for regulatory reasons. Dubai, London, and Singapore are eating into New York's blockchain leadership. This exodus is not good for US jobs, economy, and homelessness. And again, what I've talked about with crypto is that there's so many job opportunities within crypto. It's extremely vast. Now, as we look at what's happening around crypto and as we look at what's happening around regulations, yeah, I do think that a lot of value is moving outside of the US. I also think that a lot of dominance is moving outside of the US as well. It seems as though the US is going back in time, right? I feel like they are trying to attack this extremely infant asset class. And by doing so, they are not only going to harm themselves, but they are going to harm the very individuals that they are sought out to, in their quotation marks, protect. And it's a big deal. It's a big problem. Over here, we do see from Brad Garlinghouse, the US may be moving backwards, but I like to focus on the positive. In the last few months, the EU, the UK, and the UAE all moved forward with new regulatory frameworks and regimes for crypto activities. And they did include it in their market report. We actually talked a little bit about that, but this is from April 27th. Over here, we also do see from May 3rd, the team at Ripple and I are heading to Dubai Fintech Summit next week. I'll be on stage with Dan Murphy to discuss all things crypto utility and what's needed first and foremost, a regulator that's actually providing clarity to drive it forward. And Dubai has been, it's been the gold area, if you will. I should say the gold standard, actually. Around crypto and crypto regulations. Like, it's such an incredible area. If you have the chance, obviously, yes, you should go check it out. But a lot of people that I know have been relocating to Dubai in the recent years because of what's happening around crypto. I mean, crypto is being accepted, adopted, and ultimately there's no guardrails up. I mean, there's a tax haven happening over in the UAE, which I'll talk about. If we go over here, so here's the UAE Securities Regulator to start accepting license applications from crypto firms. This happened back in April 18th. And also financial free zones as well. Like, this is big. Like, the mandatory license regime applies to all companies seeking to provide services in the country unless they are already licensed in financial free zones in the United Arab Emirates And they do also talk a little bit down here around like companies looking to operate in the Emirate of Dubai must obtain a license from its Virtual Assets Regulator Authority in addition to SCA approval according to the announcement. But they are actually providing clarity. They are actually looking into things. They are actually doing the work that needs to be done. And we do see down here a person wishing to engage in virtual asset activities shall have headquarters in the state to conduct his business according to one of the legal forms approved by the local authorities concerned with commercial licenses. But yeah, like they're actually doing the work. They're actually regulating. They're doing, things unlike the SEC. But over here, we do see the UAE Emirate to launch a free zone for digital and virtual asset firms. This was February 28th. 100% ownership of their businesses and have different regulatory frameworks and tax schemes. Like this is big. This is big. And like as we actually look at what's happening over in the UAE, like this is where the US should 100% be taking notes because obviously they have failed in their goal. I think that they are going to continue to fail because like as we actually look at some of these areas, like the UAE has been moving fast on a lot of adoption and a lot of acceptance around crypto since even, I mean, it's not even just this year. Going all the way back to January, yeah, sure, they have been, but like even beforehand, they've been moving extremely fast on crypto and crypto regulations and acceptance. So to me, as I look at this, like it's a big warning sign for what's to come for the US. And even over here, the UK may have crypto regulation within a year, says the senior minister. Over here, just from May 3rd, the UK crypto hub could have significant competitive advantage over the EU. And when we go back over here, like we are seeing crypto adoption happening in the EU, the UK, and even the UAE. And guess what we are going to see? This statement here tells me that we will be seeing a regulatory race happening between these major areas to become a crypto hub. Even Hong Kong, they've been a big one, but it seems as though there's going to be a race on for crypto regulations, regulatory frameworks to adopt and accept these cryptocurrencies. To me, this is a big deal. This is a huge deal because I think everyone should be paying attention to it because I even said it just similar to like the space race. We will see a race towards who could be the first. And it's going to put a lot of pressure on the US, especially as a lot of these crypto exchanges are moving outside of the US, like Coinbase and even Gemini. And what's crazy is that like Coinbase is the #2 largest exchange. Yeah, they don't have as many weekly visits. They're only down to like 35.5K, but they still have about roughly $800 million in trading volume. Gemini, they're smaller. They have about 20 million, but they also have almost 200,000 weekly visits. And also Binance, the #1 largest exchange. We already know what's happening with them with the US. They are accepted widely outside of the US. And it seems as though when we really kind of look at what's happening, a lot of dominance is being lost in this regulatory battle that the SEC has imposed on crypto exchanges, crypto companies, and projects. And it really is sad to say, but this is exactly why we got into crypto anyways, to avoid these, suit-wearing fanatics that are trying to go after incredible innovation and ultimately an asset class that gives power back to the people. And this is exactly why I say like DeFi, decentralized finance, needs to thrive. It is a space that, people utilize every single day. And it's also a space that, guess what? Like, as we look at DeFi, you're literally avoiding all traditional means. And they don't like that. That's also why I said like they are going after DeFi. They're going after staking as a service. It's because, staking as a service is an immediate competitive advantage compared to banks. So the banks are challenged by that. They see that and they're fearful of what's to come around crypto because if you could go, let's say if Coinbase launched a bank tomorrow, right? And you could stake with them, we'll say stake USDC. Now, you don't even need to stake it. Maybe you could just hold it in a savings account, just similar to a bank. So you're just holding USDC and you're collecting 5%. 5% per year. Where are you going to go in the US to a bank and maybe even global, right? Where are you going to go to a bank and earn 5% on your money? I'll tell you where. Nowhere. It doesn't exist. This is why they are fighting back against crypto so hard because they see the problem. I mean, bank deposits are at an all-time low as bank withdrawals are at an all-time high. It's a big deal. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me over on Twitter, as well as join the free Discord down in the description below. So it's up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.